Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is episode 41, the Heieneke Who Stole Christmas. I'm sticking with the name, bro. All right, so we're about to look at last week's game versus the Colts. We're going to look ahead to next week versus the Bears. Big matchup there. We're going to check out the playoff positioning and draft positioning in division, and then get some city talk with us at the end. So come along with us. Enjoy this ride. Taj, my man. We are coming off a win that moves us to 7-8, right behind the two leaders of the division. It's crazy that like a win doesn't put you in a good mood, right? So
It's one of them things to where it feel like it's too little, too late.
100%, 100%. So if you look at it, Heieneke was able to move the ball, gives our highest point total outing that we've had all year. 9 points scored in the fourth quarter kind of put the game out of reach, as well as a couple defensive stands, including a pick from Jesse Bates. Bijan, 72 yards. London got involved. Pitt scored a touchdown. This was the offense that we were looking for pretty much the whole way through.
Not quite, but close
But
enough.
it doesn't seem super different than what Ritter was giving us outside of the turnovers, right? That's really what it boils down to. So,
And when it comes down to that, it's not like Heineke was keeping the ball out of harm's way. He just got lucky, if we just being honest.
no, all right. So let's get into it, right? So, one thing that we were, I think I won't speak for you. One thing I was boldly adamant about prior, like at the end of last week, was that going back to Heineke after having the full vote confidence in Ritter coming into the season, benching him in the Titans game, going back to him, and then saying when you went back to him after the bye week that
This
like
is a full move. We're not going back on the board.
we're not playing musical chairs, to then say Heineke gives us the best chance to win, go through it, and then win the game, right? Even off a win, it speaks to the idea that this man does not know what he's doing with the quarterback position. It speaks to the incompetence of him as a coach. And I hate to say it like that because you're coming off a win. You're supposed to be feeling good, supposed to be, the team moving in a proper direction and whatnot. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like the game was completely sharp all the way through, right? You alluded to it earlier. Heinicke put the ball in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't get the same passes that Ritter was getting intercepted. He just didn't get intercepted,
Yeah.
right? Um, there was nothing that engendered a whole bunch of, hey, we could go to Detroit and win a game. We could go to Philly and win a game. We could go to Dallas and win a game.
Well, I think
Nothing.
with this team, I think we probably could be Philly where they playing, but that's another story. Go on.
I mean, you seen them today. They look pretty. They look decent.
It was the Giants. I, the
Yeah,
Giants
but
the Giants bad, but I
they
think we better than them.
no, the Giants are bad. Well, what's his name? Giants coach Bill Parcells. He always said at some point, you are what your record is. Giants are 5-10, but like we can't speak too much because we couldn't end the season with the
We
same
7 and
record.
8. We 7 and 8, man.
Yeah, we could end the season with the exact same record.
But hey, I'm talking about right now though.
So, but with all that being said, like I it doesn't feel like I had one dude text me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm airing you out, bro, because I know exactly who you are, and I know you listen to the pod. I appreciate your listen." But he was like, "Man, we could have been 9-8 had Heineke started all these games all year," and I was like, "Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not, because it's not like he wasn't making the same mistakes. It's not like the route concepts were the same thing we talked about them being bunched into formation improperly. It's not like the reads were good. It's just you just avoided the turnover. That's the only difference in how
By
you ran
sheer
the
luck.
offense. Yeah, that's the only difference in how you ran the
Because
offense.
he fumbled a snap,
Mm-hmm.
hit him dead in the hands. Oh, fumble the snap, threw some very dangerous passes that luckily fell incomplete.
He throws a very pickable ball.
Yeah,
He throws a
because
very
it don't got
pickable
no
ball.
zip on it. But like, so I mean, like, it's Heinicke doesn't do anything that Ritter can't do. Ritter could do a lot that Heinicke can't do. So
But he also turns the ball over
he
at
turns
an
the ball over.
astounding rate.
He does,
An
but
astounding rate.
a lot of it is just unlucky.
A lot of
Like
it's unlucky, and then
because
some of it is like
the thing is if and a lot of this Ritter slander really just has a lot to do with the perception of him. If Ritter was a first round pick, these interceptions wouldn't be deemed nearly as bad. But since he's a third round pick, people, oh, he's a third round pick, so you don't got to invest, blah, 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 blah. Get rid of him. Go get another first round quarterback that may not work either. Because the thing is, like, coaches and quarterbacks, they're both lottery tickets.
I get that. But to be completely honest, like you know what I always say about the draft, economic exercise, right? I don't believe that a third round pick is just like a throwaway pick. You know what I'm saying?
No, no,
Like
no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the casual fan. They're saying because because like they look at it since it's a quarterback he dropped in the third round. Oh well, you could easily just get rid of him because there's people talk about, oh well, after this season we need to cut Ritter. Ritter has shown he could play a good stretcher, so if anything, he's a high end backup on a cheap contract.
I think so. The only reason I wouldn't get rid of him after this season. The only way I could see you getting rid of him after next season would be if you did invest in a first round quarterback this year. Not saying you should. No. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying if you do invest in a first round quarterback this year, going into that third year, you'd either trade or release him and then get a veteran backup
I don't think they
just for
release
the
him
development of that quarterback.
because
It's
the thing,
it's it's literally standard in how most teams operate. The clearest example you could think about is think about Cam Newton and Jimmy Clausen.
well, Clausen was horrible,
Yeah, I mean he wasn't good, but like
and but
objectively you could say Ritter has been as bad.
nah, I wouldn't say that. But is it like you said objectively? But the situations are different. Because wasn't Cam like the first pick of a new regime? Like it ultimately just depends on who is there, or it might have been like a new general manager or something like that. Like they probably had no ties to Clausen, like the same way the Cardinals came in, drafted Kyler, and shipped off Rosen. But for every one of the situations, you have a situation like the Texans, where they took a third round quarterback in Davis Mills, let him
They
run
ain't
it out
cap
for a
him.
year,
Yeah, they cap him.
and he's hit back up. CJ Stroud had a concussion, he's playing.
Yeah,
Like
but
because
I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go at the end of the season and got a veteran backup.
there's no reason to. It's cheap. It's cheap labor. Like because
Not necessarily. So here's the thing: you want to be able to have your team capably function when if your first round quarterback gets hurt, if
yeah,
he shows promise.
no. But what I'm saying
So
is Ritter has shown stretches that he can play. It stretches. Don't you could probably get by a cool maybe 3 to 4 games with him.
no, but then the other part of that is just like the confidence and belief in the person, right? So most quarterbacks, huge egos, don't like a guy behind them that could even be perceived as a threat. If you have a veteran backup, he knows his role. It's why they fought so hard to get Heinicke this offseason, right? Not fought, but like he fit that role as he came in with the mindset that I'm the backup supporting a young guy.
Well, he didn't have a mindset. They told him what it was, and he was like, "All right, that's fine."
Yeah, Ritter has been a starter. Ritter has been named a captain. Ritter has played.
He won
I
a captain.
think he have a seat on
No,
the chest this year. Well, Ritter has played, right?
yes,
You put him in a position where a first round quarterback, young guy, is going through the same rookie stretches or the same second year troubles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same level of security. So most teams just get rid of that guy.
the thing is, I can understand that, but he's a third round pick. If he was like because Clausen, Jimmy Clausen, he was a second round pick. It's a
Mhm.
little bit bigger of an investment than a third round pick. Because on average, most quarterbacks outside of the first round, maybe specifically in the third, on average, they most of the time they're backups. And right now, just I think Ritter could personally be better than what he's shown, but for the sake of what he put on film, he's a he's probably a high end backup. Probably like in maybe in the Jacoby Brissett range type backups. And obviously he'll get better with more experience because Jacoby didn't become Jacoby just day one. But I don't see them just cutting him, trading maybe. But there's no way I see them cutting him.
No, not cut him outright. I mean, if
No,
you
because
get
the
a four
thing
or
is,
five for him, like
yeah,
it's worth it.
yeah,
But
like
my
they
thing
trade him.
is, I just don't see a point in that third year would be very telling on whether or not he actually stayed on the team, right?
Yeah, he's gonna
Like
be on the team
that.
next year. Like
No, next year.
this third year.
Next year is absolutely. No, I'm
Yeah.
saying the third year of like that would be of a young quarterback. I'm saying if we invested in a first round quarterback this year,
Oh yeah, but the third
right?
year that young quarterback would be Ritter's contract would be up.
Yeah, the end of the second year.
Yeah.
There's just not. It's no point in keeping him on the team.
I mean,
They would go for a
yeah.
veteran at
I
that
mean, they'll probably go for Ritter, but I'm saying Ritter probably sees his contract out here. But back to the game because we have got on track.
point. Nah, back to the game. In all truth and honesty, I love the fact that we were able to put some points on the board. Koo fucked it. Oh boy, he got
Well,
bailed out.
he
He
did get
got
bailed.
bailed out.
He got bailed.
He got bailed out and then rocked it the rest of the game. Rocked it the rest of the game. You talk about all three phases. I talk about special teams. That's my little baby right there. Koo has not been looking like Koo for varying stretches of this year. I definitely think that and kicker is one of those kicker and quarterback to be known as all pro in those positions, to be known as all pro period is like a huge high honor. But to be known as all pro in those positions when it's only four. You know what I'm saying? Like two quarterbacks, two kickers. You know what I'm saying?
Is it two
Like you
kickers? I thought it
running
was just
backs,
one.
first and second team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got
Yeah, yeah. First, two quarterbacks, two kickers. Like running backs, you got four. You know what I'm saying? You got two on first team, two on second team. You
you.
have
And then every
options
now
there
and then they throw in the third in the flex because I think they started adding the flex in there. Oh,
to really honor people who are having an amazing season. Honestly, that's how Debo got his All Pro
yeah.
selections. But regardless, like so cool. That's why I always All Pro AJ because corner you got four slots there. Or you might have six slots if I'm not mistaken. It's either four or
I think
six.
it's two and then a slot.
So
I
yeah,
don't know if
so
they treat
you
this.
have six.
I don't think they treat the slot the same way as they treat the corners, but yeah,
You have opportunities there.
you're
But
right.
All Pro AJ and Cool is an All Pro kicker, bro. Like that is a huge distinction. And his All Pro was a first team All Pro. You know what I'm saying? In a league that has Justin Tucker, in a league that has um had Mason Crosby when he was named an All Pro. And so you get past the 35 and you just book those as points. And this year that hadn't been the case. He made that miss, got called back from the penalty, and he put the game out of reach.
Yeah.
Put the game out of reach today, and it was absolutely necessary.
Now, speaking of putting the game out of reach, so I came across this very interesting stat. So Arthur Smith has been with us for 46 games. Do you know this is the first time he's won by three scores?
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Like that kind of just blew my mind. I'm like, wow, you've been here 3 years and we've
I
only
mean,
got one truly convincing win.
bro, I'm fat. I got heart trouble. I go to the doctor, and he was like, "Stop being a Falcons fan, bro. It's not good for your heart." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good for your heart, bro. Like, it's a nail biter every week, bro. It's a nail biter. That sound about right. That
Yeah,
sound about right. Because win or lose, we're in every game. Win
yeah,
or lose, we're in every game.
yeah.
We
For the most
we
part,
uh we lost 5 of 7. That was another thing where they were talking about like the breakdown in the division or whatnot, and it sounds stupid because like we do this every week. You know what I'm saying? We talk every week, but like it's stuff you don't think about. We were 4-3 at one point, bro.
yeah,
We lost 5 of 7.
yeah,
We lost 5 out of 7 games. You know what I'm saying? And like they were like all of those were like within 7 points or within 8 points. All of those were considered one possession games, bro.
yeah.
And it's like So win or lose, you're in every game. You're down to the wire. It's a it's a bad pick on the goal line. It's a fumble out of bounds late. It's a yeah, like I can wholly believe this is
Well,
the first time it was a three possession win
like
because that don't
honest,
even sound like an
yeah.
Arthur Smith team.
But the thing is, for the most part, with the exception of the Carolina game, all of Ritter's mistakes have come relatively early in the game. That
Hmm.
was the first time he fucked it up in the fourth quarter.
We were really raving about the fact that fourth quarter Ritter was the best play that he had. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
And
saying?
then he went
And
and laid that egg.
I'm not gonna lie. Just looking at his dejection, I feel like he truly understands the gravity of that pass in that situation because
Oh
like
no.
that could have that might have like ended his time as being a starter.
Yeah,
I hope
possibly. Yeah.
not forever.
Because
I hope not forever. But
honestly, I think that's going to be his last time. That's probably into his time of being like the surefire starter. Like, I
yeah,
think the only time
yeah, 100%.
he sees the field again is barring injury, and then he goes on some kind of run.
And the guy that you're replacing can't be a bona fide
Yeah.
star. It would have to be Heieneke again.
Nah,
You know what I'm
I
saying? It
don't
had to
think it'd
be
be Heinicke. It'd probably be.
no. I'm saying a quarterback of his ilk. You know what I'm saying? Like say we went out and signed Jacoby Brissett this offseason, right?
Brissett is a different tier to me than Heineke.
But let's just say we signed Jacoby Brissett this
Yeah,
offseason, right? And then through 6 games we're 3-3. He gets hurt. Ritter comes in and you go 3-1 over a stretch. I could see them being like, well, let's just stick with the hot hand. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Rather than going back to Brissett. But it can't be a guy like it can't be a first round invested quarterback. It can't
No,
be
no, it
we
wouldn't be
go out
nothing
and
like that.
sign
No,
Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill because it's just like
Tannehill maybe depending on the contract, but
depends on the contract. Yeah, but it can't be a guy like that because like when you get back, it's just
yeah.
okay. Go ahead, hit that bench from big dog because I already know what you about. I already know
But
what you about. You know what I'm
but
saying?
something like that would also help your motivation with the trading him because if he goes out and puts some good games on film and then other side comes back in, maybe you can get instead of a 4 or 5, maybe you can get a 3.
Well, see, my thing is if they go out and sign a veteran starter this offseason,
Yeah,
I see no reason to not keep Ritter on the team all the way through his contract. There's no reason not to at that point.
I mean, yeah.
For me, the only reason you would really be stressed on moving him is if you invested high in a young quarterback because you don't want that type of competition in the building. You know what I'm saying?
And just I know this ain't the segment, but I don't really see us taking a quarterback high unless we trade up.
A trade up big,
Yeah, like
trade up
we
big.
like other than that, I
Yeah.
really don't see us swinging on a lot of the guys because I feel like prospect wise they're very similar to the range Ritter is.
So
But
here's my thing. And we make the segments. We talk about what we want. Gang gang. Anyway, no, no. But no, true honesty. So my thing about it would be I would consider this regime a a buyer in the draft process strictly because rookie quarterbacks usually, if they show any promise, can buy you another year. And even if they can't, this regime, if they under deliver next year, they're gone anyway. So
no,
like if I trade next year one, what that got to do with me?
this is how I feel about that.
what that got to do with me? That sound like future man problem.
No, see, but the thing is, with the regime, I don't think it's the full regime. I just think it's just Arthur and the coaching staff. I think Terry Fontenot is relatively safe.
I think Terry is. I think Terry, if you look at what he's done and what he's put together, because
He,
I ain't gonna lie, one of the first drafting that I had was let Terry cook,
yeah,
right? Because the
he been
first the
cooking.
first pick, yeah, the first pick day one, Bijan, we had our ins and outs about it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm not gloating or anything, but I think if we look back at what we were talking about pre Carolina, right, and his usage throughout the season, I think he is a special elite talent.
Oh yeah, he's definitely that.
I I still don't think that we've been able to capitalize on
No,
everything that he can do
absolutely not.
because of like the team that we built around him. Now, with who I wanted. I wanted us to trade down to get Christian Gonzalez. You said you were fine taking him at 8. I think he was closer to 15, like he got taken. But he's been hurt half the year. Who's saying he gets hurt with us or not? Whatever.
Injuries are
Do I
a
think
freak
he?
thing.
Yeah. Do I think he would have made a huge, valuable difference
No,
in what we've been able to do on defense versus what Bijan has been able to provide with us on offense?
no.
Not necessarily. And so, still okay with that pick. But if you look at the rest of the draft, Zach Harrison came on. Zach
3 sacks in
Harrison
2 weeks.
came on, bro.
I was
And
telling you,
that's
I
just
like the
like,
kid.
yeah, bro. You bet on physical talent. You bet on physical talent. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a physical freak. Let's just get you on the team. Let's get you like his build. He looks to me like he's gonna take Calais' spot as Calais ages out. Right? Like
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
type of
he's just like, I mean, they're both very large human because he's 6'6", about 270. But
yeah.
he's worlds more athletic.
Whoa, bro! His coming off the edge, his sack. They recorded it as a sack. It was only like
Oh, you
it
talking about
wasn't
the
even.
we talking about one versus Carolina where he was actually dropped back in coverage and ran up to get the sack? Or are you
No,
talking
no, no,
about
no.
this week? Okay,
This week where it was like it was -1 yard, but really, bro, it wasn't a yard. It had to be a foot and a half behind the line. But they recorded it as a sack. But
dang.
really, it was an incredible play. If you watch the rush, he stayed in the lane, disengaged from his guy, re-engaged, spun off of him, and was able to get the quarterback, was able to get Gardner like as he was coming to the line, bro. Like it was an amazing rush, bro. You look at something like that and you're like, yo, this dude could be it. You know what I'm saying? Bergeron, he's been good. You go further down the draft. What I tell you about Akuda, bro? You got to rent, dog. You got to rent.
Yeah,
Where
man.
was he? Where was he this week? Where was he this week?
Spot duty.
That you got to rent, bro. You got to rent. Clark Phillips taking that.
Yeah,
How the Grinch stole Christmas, bro.
ain't no time. Clark done snatched it.
Is that spot over for you?
Then you go a
Yo,
look further down, you got DeMarco Hellams, and he's it looked like he's completely unseated Richie Grant. Richie Grant is now relegated to third safety duty.
I'm not gonna lie to you though, because of the packages that the Colts were throwing at us, Richie Grant did see a lot of playing time. So like when you first said it, I didn't really notice it. I noticed the Clark Phillips like
Yeah.
immediately because like I told y'all last week, I don't care when y'all just be saying stuff because y'all don't really know ball. So I don't care because I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm talking about. So you see me on the street, you be like, I got bad taste. Like, I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I seen that and I was like, I'm right. I knew Akuda was getting gone, right? But when you told me about the Richie Grant thing, I was like, I didn't really see it because the Colts were routinely throwing 3 wide receiver sets or big tight end sets, or they had 2 running backs in the backfield. So we always had that third safety on the field, right? But then I noticed when we went to base, I was like, oh damn. Oh yeah, nah. Yeah, you ain't in there,
And
big
that's
dog.
a huge hit for a 7th round pick.
Yeah. 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 And safety is one of those positions. So like safety, tight end, middle linebacker, those are positions that if you hit on late, that's free cheap labor for a while,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But also when it comes time to pay them, not saying that you should or will, but if you want to go hardball, the franchise tag cap isn't super high,
Yeah.
right? Because those are deemed like non like
Premium positions.
premium positions.
Yeah,
And
non
then
premium, yeah.
even if you want to get them a top of the market salary, you know what I'm saying? Like Kyle Pitts, when it comes time to pay him, everybody's talking about like, oh, keep an eye out for Kyle Pitts. He could be a trade market. No, you pay Kyle Pitts. You could pay Kyle Pitts top of the market. He's
See,
not gonna touch what wide receivers make.
here's the thing though, and Kyle Pitts has a very good agent. They use him at receiver more than they use him at tight end.
Which is true. So if he wants to counter with that, then you entertain the whole do we want a $20 million
They
wide
probably just going
receiver
they probably
tight end
going
hybrid?
do the 10 here, 20 here, split the difference, call it 15.
15, which is still top of the market for a tight end,
Yeah.
bro. Like, because I think Kelsey is what 14, 13 and a
Something
half,
like that, yeah.
14. You know what I'm saying? So like you're top of the market for a tight end at 15, which is still really, really good. Because T. Higgins
Very.
is going to command 21 a year this offseason, bro.
But
Jamar
speaking of
Chase is good.
picks, can we just talk about back to back weeks of touchdowns?
Hey, look, I didn't even know he knew how to find the end zone, bro. Because we came in here and talked about the fact that,
My
like,
bad, not back to back weeks, but two touchdowns
three,
in three
three,
weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, because
Like,
we
like
came here and was like, you had 5 for your career. Now you up to 6. Like, whoa, whoa there, big fella. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and he's starting to look a lot like he did that rookie year. It looked like he's starting to look a little more confident in that knee. The way he's running his routes, the way he's moving, the way he's taking contact, even like on the on the one handed behind the back catch, like he did the same thing. Rookie, he's starting to show his shades and starting to build himself back up. It looks like.
yeah, I still think, like, incredibly low for the season. 50 receptions, 635 yards,
I mean,
three touchdowns.
look. I mean, just look at it in comparison to other tight ends. I mean, obviously, Sam Laporte is probably outpacing because they know how to use their tight ends. But
Yeah.
in terms of all tight ends, Kyle Pitts is still putting up top 10 to top 5 production.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think if he ends the season with 750 plus, he might still be able to slide in for a Pro Bowl berth.
Well, the Pro Bowl voting actually ended 30 minutes ago.
Oh, that sucks. He's not getting in.
But from the looks of it, look, we got 6 people going.
Right them all. Who we got? Who we got?
Hold on, let me pull it back up.
I know Jesse Bates is in there.
Yes, Jesse definitely. Oh, so we got Jesse Bates, Bijan Robinson, Chris Lindstrom, Young Wei Koo, Q Smith, and Nate Landman.
Nate Landman, I 100% see. I am surprised AJ didn't go. Actually, I'm not surprised because AJ's all pro year, he didn't get fan voted in.
No, he don't get picks. He don't get AJ's not the flash corner, so it's going to be hard
Yeah.
to get him in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he doesn't get interceptions, but he locks it down, bro.
He knocks it down, but see the thing is, with cornerback, the cornerbacks they get to the Pro Bowl, either they're getting a lot of picks or they talk a lot. AJ don't do either.
Yeah. Because I know what's his name, Deron Bland. Well, hell, Deron Bland might be an all pro. Not might. Deron Bland's going to be an all pro this year for corner.
I don't know
But
about all pro, but he probably get the Pro Bowl because he's been giving up a lot of yards and he gets cooked quite a bit.
he broke the record for
He
pick
did.
returns.
He
Bro.
did. But
That's an all pro.
I still don't think that's all pro.
Antonio Cromartie that season that he had, what was it, 11 or 12 interceptions? He was getting barbecue roasted every other week. Bro.
It went like that though.
But he had the pick numbers, so they get it to you. It's one of those things. It's just one of those things. It's not. It doesn't make it right, but it is what's going to happen.
Well, we could debate on that, but for a fact, Jesse Bates is an all pro this year.
Jesse Bates should be all pro. I don't know. Simmons might have something to say about that up in Denver, but
he can have to.
Yeah, outside of him, I don't see anybody.
Jesse Bates is the clear number 1 safety football right now.
Yeah, outside of him, I don't see too many people that could really stake claim to it. Cool, definitely a Pro Bowl season, not an All Pro season. Lindstrom, yeah, he's had a decent season.
He had a rough start, but he cleaned it up after the first few games. He's cleaned it up.
He had a decent season.
I mean, don't look perfect. Hell, even Zach Martin struggled versus Jalen Carter.
Yeah, to be honest with you though, I'm surprised Bergeron didn't get some look. Not saying that he was a bona fide Pro Bowler this year, but he has had a really good season.
He had, but it's also one of them things where the momentum probably started later than you would have wanted for a Pro Bowl berth. I think now one of the things I did call when I was saying I think he's a Pro Bowl talent. Maybe not year 1, but I think 2, most likely 3 is where you'll see the Pro Bowl talk start for him.
Yeah, and then Nate Landman, but just a hard hitter.
That one honestly surprised me because I would have thought Caden Ellis would have had the nod over him, but
Landman, this is fan voting. And so like, bro, he makes big hits. If you watch enough games, you're gonna notice him before you know Caden Ellis.
I disagree with that, but
No, no, not in terms of who's gonna make the play,
oh,
who's gonna make the splash.
oh yeah, I mean he's going to make a big hit. He's going to punch it
Yeah,
out. Yeah. So I
yeah,
mean,
you know what I'm saying.
I
So
get it.
like as a fan, if you're not a Falcons fan and you just watching a game that the Falcons are playing in, you'll probably notice Lynn before you notice Caden Ellis.
Okay, I got it.
So
Casual out, yeah.
yeah, I mean that's all fan voting truly is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. That's why players like AJ don't have any Pro Bowls, but
Yeah, which is weird. Like I don't know how many All Pros don't have whatever. We have gotten way far off. The point is, coming off a win, we're 7-8 now. Uh, let's look ahead to what's going on facing the Bears next week, right? So, bro, as we face the Bears, right? They are officially eliminated from playoff contention. They have what most people would consider to be our future starting quarterback on their team. Uh,
which I'm not gonna lie,
I
I've kind of warmed up to the idea
I think that
for the
that
right
would
price.
be. I'm all about the price.
Yeah,
I'm all about the price.
if the price is sweet enough, I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen?
I just how many people are getting involved? That's my thing. So if it's just me and you sitting here talking, we can have a civil conversation, right? We can have a disagreement about a sports tape, but it could be a civil conversation, right?
Most
When
times,
there's when there's when there's seven people in the room, three gassing you up and four gassing me up, you know what I'm saying, and no referee in the middle. Now all of a sudden this civil conversation has gone to wild proportions. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, bruh, I don't like your face. Now it's like, man, screw you and your family. Now you know what I'm saying? Things have gotten different. If it's just the Falcons and the Bears in the room, I believe that gets done for a four, possibly a three, right?
but I think it probably would be probably like maybe a 3 this year, maybe a conditional pick the following year.
A conditional. And you know what? Hey, look, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think it would be a four if we're dipping into next year's draft
Yeah,
as a conditional, then a four and a conditional there, right? Like, but we can have a civil conversation about it. But like, if all of a sudden the Patriots get involved for God knows what reason, you know what I'm saying? Let's say all of a sudden,
yeah, because they pushed themselves out of that top 2 pick.
yeah, let's say the Commanders get involved. The Seahawks have always liked Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? What happens if they're like, oh, because we're trading him in the NFC, we need a little extra, and now all of a sudden the conversation shifts, and Justin Fields, somebody who has had a terrible record, is getting talked about as going for a one or a one and something, and that's just like
Nah, if it's
I
one, no,
can't do it, bro.
I don't want no more than a 3 or a 4 in a conditional.
Yeah, like if we
Anything
because if we're
higher than
dipping
that,
in the next year,
I'm cool. I'm cool. Anything like Justin, you know what? I like you, but not that much. And think I don't even like you that much. But if the price is cheap enough, I'm interested.
hit that man with a you want something? I can eat. Like,
Right? But yeah,
so it's like I mean, like if
like I'm not over here starving for it. Like you know,
yeah,
I mean I
if you
ate some,
sliding
but
up to make
I mean I ate
if
already.
you
But you know, I could use a little snack. I guess you know.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. If you sliding up there, just grab me something real
Right? Yeah.
quick.
Like if you, I don't want you to go out your way.
You know, but that's really what it boiled down to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like whatever you're going to get for him, whatever you're going to give up for him has to be in line with his talent and how what he's shown with that talent, like on the field in terms of wins and losses, bro. Because like he is king of the almost, bro. He just as much as Ritter, he is king of the almost. Like he almost wins a whole bunch of games, bro. He almost gets there. He almost like
Well, you know, but I'm not gonna put the wins and losses on him entirely because the Bears was a bad team. You don't get to be able to pick that high and like and be a good team. Like
they picked him at 11.
They did, and then they picked one, and
They
well,
picked one the next year
they
with
had
him as
one.
the quarterback.
No, they was it? This is his third year, right?
This is third year.
Yeah, so they've had two top 10 picks.
Where'd they pick? I think they picked 9. When was
No,
the
no,
quarterback?
they traded down the nine, but I don't remember the pick from the other year. Or did they trade? No, they traded that pick. They traded that pick to the Eagles. I think it was the Eagles or the Saints. They traded that pick to either the Eagles or the Saints because they didn't have their first last year. I mean, well, the year before.
Did they not have?
They didn't have it. They traded it because they traded up their first to get Fields.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But I want to
So
say that
just
it might have been, I can't remember who might have been the Niners maybe. I know it was a top. I know the pick ended up being a top 10 pick.
yeah, I'm looking in the 2022 draft to see uh, who had an extra pick. The Giants.
There we go.
The
Yep,
Giants. So
yep,
so they picked 11 and then they picked 7.
yeah.
Um,
They won one.
yeah, they yeah. So progressively they've gotten worse with him as a quarterback.
It's not all on him because like last year that was probably possibly one because like who they had no receivers, they had no line. It was a shit show. And
Yeah, it was bad.
now the thing that feels that over the past 2 years he's missed a number of games past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say he probably
And
missed like what maybe like 8 in 2 seasons or something like that or close to it, 6 to 8 games.
yeah, and I know he had the hand thing this season.
Yeah,
And I think something that hurts is the fact that his backup came in and won 2 games.
but before he got hurt, that was probably the best we've seen Fields look because he put up back to back games with 300 yards and 8 touchdowns.
And lost one and won one.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing
Yeah.
is, the loss
And
wasn't
the
on.
one he lost, he threw a pick at the end of the game. And it's the same shit we killed Ritter for. At some point, you got to call it how it is. At some point, you got to call it how it is. And you can get tantalized by the talent because the talent is there. The talent's there. Dude looks amazing.
It was
Right?
Commanders and Bears, right?
Yeah. Threw a pick at the end of the game. No. The Commanders game, I think he won. It was the week before.
Then it was the Broncos game.
Yeah, where he played really well, threw a pick at the end of the game. Where they had a chance to go down and win.
Yeah, because they lost 31-28. He put up 28,
He put
35,
up numbers.
335, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the same shit we killed Ritter for, bro.
But Ritter ain't never had no game like that. We ain't seen Ritter throw for more than 2 touchdowns yet.
Yeah, no. But at some point in time, you got to call it what it is, bro. At some point in time, you got to call it what it is.
But I mean,
Because the next week,
the thing
the
is,
next week he had the Commanders game, right? The next week
yeah,
he had the Commanders game. They won that game. Then he got injured. They missed 2 games. His backup came in 1-2. They revamped the defense. He's come back in. What's been the results?
they won
500
games.
ball? 500 ball?
But the thing is,
Like it's
see, I'm a big proponent of wins are not a quarterback stat, and I hate that because the thing is, a quarterback doesn't win or lose a game by itself. Only the elite of the elite can win a game by themselves, but majority of quarterbacks are not winning games or losing games by themselves. They could throw
I
you
don't
out of a
believe
game,
they're
and they could some of them, but they're a lot they could throw you out of a game, but they're not a lot they could throw you into it.
so that's my thing. You're saying it's not a quarterback stat, but
No.
you're also signifying the fact that they have the biggest impact on whether or not you win or lose.
They have an impact, yes. They do have the biggest impact, yes. But it's
So
still
how is it? So it's a quarterback stat, bro.
it's not a quarterback stat because the thing is, like Matt Ryan, Give Matt Ryan the defense we got this year. How do you think we win a Super Bowl with the defense we currently have?
But okay, so you want to get real for a second.
Yeah, let's
We
get
can get
real.
we can get really
Let's
real
get
for a
real.
second, right? The defense, because we got to talk like adults here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The defense that we have is possible because we have a rookie skill quarterback. You're a quarterback who takes that much money, which means we can't invest that in the defense. So you need to be better.
Your whole the thing we could have
Yeah,
afforded
yeah,
Super Bowl.
exactly. Like,
But
bro, at some point in time, that's it's what it
but
is.
you getting away from what I asked you though. Fuck all of the semantics of it. Do you think Matt Ryan can win with the defense he has with this defense we have right now?
I think a lot of quarterbacks could. I think a lot of
I ain't talking about a
quarterbacks
lot of
could.
quarterbacks. I'm talking about Matty Ice.
I think Matt Ryan's the best quarterback we ever had.
He
Like,
is by
it don't.
far, not
Hey,
close.
I ain't with the Matt slander, bro. Like, but I'm saying in general, like, if you're a quarterback, hell, Patrick Mahomes, I hold him to the exact same standard. The stinker he threw up today,
Oh no, he
right?
played horrible. But the thing is that's the name of quarterbacks. But
But here's the thing: you
Mahomes
watch
is
the game.
Mahomes is
You
one of
watch the
the
game. He
yeah,
didn't play horrible. He didn't play horrible. His receivers
yeah,
crapped him today.
he don't got shit. But,
Boy, they
and
crapped him today.
and then
But
Kelsey's getting up in age. He's not as young as he can, so he can't beat them doubles as consistently.
yeah,
So
but you took all that money, bro. And
the
like
thing, see the
for a
thing
good
is,
part of it, you have been able to overcome not having that elite talent on the outside.
okay.
Now it's just kind of
Hold
catching
on,
up to you.
I'm gonna push back on that because the thing is the way he's hurt his contract helps the team out. His cap hit's not
It
his.
does. It doesn't matter how much you help team out. At some point in time, you can't continue to keep paying people that way.
He just reworked the contract this year to give them cap space. They had a substantial amount of cap space, so much so that they were able to work out the 1 year deal. And they're probably going to end up re-signing Chris Jones after the year because Chris Jones is essential to that team.
And he absolutely is. But at some point in time, like the bill comes due, and not even that the bill comes due on a certain level, you have to also keep in mind. You got to keep in mind for the PA, right? And you got to keep in mind what your contract means to other people. So you can't continue to be underpaid while also being recognized as the best player in the league because it slows up the progress for everyone else.
I mean, yeah, but
It's just facts. It just is what
he
it
got his
is.
money. He got his money. Either he got a rework this year or he's getting it reworked. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he got a rework though.
And my thing is, I'm not saying that the team hasn't tried, right? Hasn't tried to invest into the wide receiver position. Rice is a second round pick, right? Sky Moore was a second or third round pick. You traded for Kadarius Tony. Like you're trying. You know
See,
what I'm
but
saying?
here's the
Just
thing
not
though.
there.
Here's the thing. This is the same receiving room minus Juju that they just won the Super Bowl with.
Minus Juju, replace that with Sidney Rice.
With
Yeah.
she right here. It's the same room. Just so it's like it's just they just playing shitty.
Yeah, they're playing terrible, bro. They're playing
Because
terrible.
it's like just last year, Mahomes on top of the world, and this year these people ain't catching the same passes they was catching because that pass versus the Eagles hurt.
Oh, Valdez Scanley.
That one hurt.
Yeah, nah. He wasn't in the room last year, bro.
He was.
Cause like Valdez Scanley, he
He
wasn't
was
there
there.
last year.
Yes, he was. He scored a touchdown in the game. He was there.
You sure?
Yes, I'm positive. Look, I'm an ultimate team in Madden head. He was on. He was on there. He was definitely. They signed him in free agency last year to like a 3 or 4, like somewhere between 3 to 5 year deal. He was there.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Because he scored a touchdown sitting down in the back of the end zone.
Okay. Uh, we've gotten way off the Bears, but the point we were trying to bring out is that Dave Fields is the future quarterback. It's got to be for the right price.
Yeah.
It can't just be for. You can't have a whole bunch of noise in the room and make a bad decision. As for the actual game that we're playing, their defense is completely revamped, and it is looking good, bro. It's looking good. Heieneke put a couple balls in harm's way this week. Jalen Johnson gonna take one of them back to the house if he do
Or
that this week.
Stevenson.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be the game that ends our playoff hopes.
And Arthur Smith's tenure.
We can actually get into city talk. So let's rock off through in division and
Division.
kind of see what's going on with the rest of the division and with the playoffs. So as of right now, Tampa is coming off a win versus Jacksonville. If you say I told you so, I'm gonna reach through this mic, slap you, bro. Like, look, Jacksonville lost. They just
I'm
lost, bro.
just saying.
So now it's the same shit I always said. We got to be fans of a fan. I can't bring myself to be a Saints fan, so I'm gonna just say I hope the Panthers beat them. I hope the Panthers beat them in the last week. But obviously, a huge game this week. The Buccaneers face the Saints. We kind of need the Saints to win if we have any hope in the division. But
Yeah.
our win versus the Colts has opened up a path to the wild card. Now we do need some help, but the path is there, right? We're actually technically right now sitting second in the division.
We are. Yep.
Uh,
Because we got
if
3
the
division wins and the Saints only have 2.
Yeah, so if the Saints lose, they're out of it, right? That's just it is what it. If the Saints lose, they're out of it, and the Bucks win the division.
Yeah.
They don't really have
we can't come
anything.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't have anything to play
And
for.
unless the Panthers just somehow.
No, even if the Panthers, even if we both end
Oh.
9-7,
Oh yeah,
they'll
because
have.
they got a better conference because they sit to 4-4-6. Right.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep. So
they'll.
yep. This is yeah.
Yeah, if they win this week, they'll have the division. Um, so it's not really much we can do there, except that
Honestly,
January.
I think it's a wrap either way. Looking at it.
No, so that's where our wild card path opens up.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, they just got to win.
One
They
of the
got to
last
win
2,
one of these next two games,
and it's a wrap
right? So
for the
even if
division.
they lose this week, they're gonna dog walk the Panthers, and so that's why that Panthers loss really really hurt. If there was a game we could lose, it would have been the Colts game because the division record comes into place. Like that what I've been trying to say since like week 7 when I seen it start to happen is like, yo, we are really losing a lot of division like conference games that are screwing us. Those Panthers and Vikings losses really, really hurt us, especially now because our main opposition into getting into the playoffs is the Vikings, right? So
And
we're
we
sitting
need them
behind
to
the
keep
Vikings.
losing.
We need the Vikings to keep losing, and then we also need the Seahawks to lose one more game. If the Seahawks lose one more game to another NFC opponent, we should be able to have the tiebreaker over them and be able to leapfrog them and get into that 7th spot.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really a tight race.
It is tight down the end. So you start from the top. You got the 49ers who just got dog walked by Lamar. Okay,
See,
quick side note.
I was thinking
Quick
about you
side note.
because about you. Would you love to say Lamar don't lose the NFC teams? I'm just like, but I was thinking, you know what, Lamar gonna lose this weekend.
No, no. And the main thing, I ain't gonna name drop him here, but it's one dude that I work with, and I love that you listen to the pod. If you out there, you are. Um, we constantly talk about quarterback rankings, right? And me and you, we've had our conversations on how I, backup, starter, Pro Bowl, All Pro, Hall of Fame, MVP, all that. I got that tier going, right? And I feel like people try to do a great job of discounting shit like MVPs, bro. Your peers in the press voted you as the best player
In the
in the
league.
league. And people just look at Lamar's MVP and be like, oh, because he got washed by the Titans, right? In the in his first playoff game that year, that just totally discounts that whole year. Bro was playing video games on teams that year, bro. He had 44 touchdowns, like, and was rushing. Like, he had over 1,000 yards rushing. He was the most dominant player in the game that year. He gets hurt. the contract situation is a little funny. Lamar's gonna mess around and win MVP this year. Lamar is going to mess around and win MVP this year. And when you rank quarterbacks, you got to put respect on this dude's name, bro. And I'm tired of people putting Justin Herbert in the conversation. I'm tired of people putting like, and you know, I'm known for my Justin Herbert slander, whatever. But I'm tired of people putting people above him. Like to me, it's Pat Mahomes, it's Joe Burrow because of what he does in the playoffs. You got to give him props for that. But like when people talk about Josh Allen, like bro, Lamar is right there, bro. Lamar is right there in terms of who he is as a high end quarterback.
I think Josh Allen's overrated, but that's just me.
I
He
think
turns the
he
ball.
was.
He turns the ball over too much.
I think he went from. I'm actually going to push back on that just a little bit. Here's why. And it does kind of it benefits your whole Brett Favre thing, right? That you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna turn the ball over that much, you gotta have offense to like you gotta do more good than bad, right? And like I don't believe he's all the way there, but he does a little bit more than he does enough. He does enough for you to kind of turn a side eye to the interceptions and whatnot, right? Like Brett Favre did more than enough. With Josh Allen, the turnovers are still like With Ritter,
Well,
the turnovers are super magnified because you're not producing enough offense to counteract the turnovers that you're making.
I'll just say this: good or bad, Josh Allen leads the NFL in turnovers since 2018 when 197.
That is a large number. That is a large number. Is that real?
That's real.
That's a large number, bro. 197?
No, not 97, 97, not 197, just 97. But still, that's a fucking 91 games. He's turned the ball over 97 times.
Bro, I thought you said
No,
197.
not.
I was like my mind couldn't. I was short circuiting. I was like, that's not real. That's not real. That can't be real, bro. Like, bro, that's like 5 turnovers a game. I can't.
He still averages over 1 turnover a game.
Yeah, like 1.1.
1
Like
point.
1.1. He gonna give you one. You go into the game like he gonna give you one.
But see that right there, like is as much good as he does on offense. When he does bad, it is horrible. Because even on this good, he probably still gonna give you one.
No, so here's the thing. This is why I think it's so bad. This is why I think it feels so bad. Because Brett Favre, when he would have like his high interception seasons, Eli Manning did this too. When he would have his high interception seasons, it really would be one a game, right? It would be one a game, and you can kind of bake it in. For Allen, he'll play like 3 games clean, bro, and then he'll have a game with 5 turnovers. Like he got to make up for playing them games clean, bro. And that's what'll kill you. That's what'll kill you. That's what make it hurt a little bit.
That's why I think he's slightly overrated. I think he's good. I think he's still one of the top quarterbacks, but he's still not in that Mahomes category to me.
No, Mahomes is a tier above himself, and I feel like the only person that can like sniff that jockstrap is Joe Burrow. He's hurt right now, and he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah,
he keep getting hurt, and it's like, bro, you really could be that dude, but you just keep getting hurt.
He's been who he's been in history. That's why I'm not too high on this particular player that goes to Washington.
No, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You got the neat thing, but like Joe really is the man, but it's just like at some point in time, like you can't keep getting hurt. Right? That's what people push Lamar down for. Is you was getting hurt, right? But the thing like is, you gotta play
got
fair.
His bag already.
Oh yeah, Joe got
his bag already.
Joe got paid, bro.
Yeah.
So right now you're sitting with the 49ers at 1. You got the Eagles at 2, coming off a win versus the Giants. You got the Lions sitting at 3 right now.
At 11-4. That is impressive. Like,
yeah.
Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to them for turning that shit around. Like,
golf clap. you know me, the Lions is my second favorite team because I started watching football. I fell in love with Barry Sanders. So like that does hold a little place in my heart. Side note, second favorite basketball team is the Pistons, and them niggas is
And the
trash.
Pistons get pissed on. So
But shout out to my wife. She got me the seafoam green Grant Hill jersey, bro. That is
Grant is actually
lovely.
one of my favorite players.
And part owner of the Hawks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's part owner of the Hawks. So, but to continue going, right? Then in that four slot, we got the Buccaneers. In the five spot right now, obviously, the Cowboys are basically
Yeah,
just locked in.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
Cowboys are basically
hell no, there's no way because even if they
not even if they lose out and the Rams win
yeah
out, they'll still be five based on conference record. Uh, because like if
yeah
you look at all their
7-3
losses,
and they're 6-4. Oh, so they neither one of them got any more conference games, do they?
nope,
No, well shit, yeah, that's all right now.
it's over for them. So even if they went out, the Rams are sitting at five right now. Seahawks sitting at or the Rams sitting at six. Seahawks sitting at seven. Here's the crazy part: we could look up and see the NFC West with three teams in the playoffs.
Yeah,
People thought the Rams were going to have the first pick in the draft, and the Seahawks have been routinely rolling out Geno Smith. That is crazy work, bro.
dude, damn, they are 1-4 in a division though. Jesus,
Yeah,
so they
but they
beat
win everywhere else.
barely, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, hey, wins a win. The Bears are officially eliminated. Panthers obviously officially eliminated. Cardinals eliminated.
wait a
Commanders
minute,
eliminated.
hold on, no, there's another conference game for the Rams in the Cowboys to play.
One or two.
One each. Cowboys are 7-3. The Rams are 6-4.
Well, if they both end 7-4, the Cowboys lose out and the Rams win out, they'll end with the same conference record. So then it will go to division record.
The Rams are 4-1 in the division, and the Cowboys are 4-1. That's probably going to go down the common opponents probably.
Yeah. So that no, there's six division games. So if they're both 4-1, then they each got a division game left.
Yeah.
So if the Rams would win out, they would go 5-1. The Cowboys would go 4-2, so they drop to six.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a little quick math for y'all. we be doing this on the fly, y'all. So if you look at Vikings right now sitting at 8, we're sitting at 9, right? And then the Packers are sitting at 10.
10.
And technically Saints are at 11, but the Saints are in an elimination game this week.
Yeah.
There's really no hope for them if they lose this game. They're technically they're mathematically eliminated if they lose this week, actually. Yeah. But hey, don't throw stones in glass houses because we're not mathematically eliminated, but we're basically eliminated if we lose this week versus the Bears. And to be honest with you, kind of like you said about Arthur, man, like you end another season 7-9, and you don't really have to play for anything in the 10th game. Now you're looking at 3 straight seasons of 7-10, like, or you're showing an 8-9 season, which is a 1-win improvement. Like I don't know. But what we really need is we need the Seahawks to choke one up for us, right? That's the main thing. They're facing the Steelers on New Year's Eve. I think that Kenny Pickett slander. The Steelers look like they had a real offense this past week without somebody in the building, even with Matt Canada's playbook. Let's hope they bring that same fire.
Yeah, so we also got the Packers and Vikings game. That's an important game too. We need the Packers to beat the Vikings.
We do need the Packers to beat the Vikings, especially considering we do not have it over the Vikings.
No,
so
Vikings we can't jump them because they beat us head to head no matter what.
So they're always going to be ahead of us. We beat the Packers, so we need the Packers to beat the Vikings. Crazy part. Packers went out right? Packers went out. If we lose one, they can get in
Yeah.
because they'll beat the Vikings. They'll beat I think it's another NFC team. So even if the Seahawks lose with the same record, yeah, it's the Bears. So even if the um, Seahawks, if the Seahawks win this week and have 9 wins but lose next week to the Cardinals, I think they'll have the same division record, and I'm pretty sure that the Packers will end up getting in. If so,
So
you
I'm rooting
know,
for the Steelers and I'm rooting for the Packers this week.
yeah, yeah.
And the
Um,
no, no, well,
I can't
that
do it. I can't do it.
I don't honestly I don't think that matters
I'll
anyway.
concede the division. I'll concede the division,
I don't
bro.
think that one matters anyway.
Yeah, because you're not going to lose to the Panthers.
Yeah,
You're
so
not going to lose to the Panthers, and if you beat the Panthers, then the only thing I think would make it interesting is if they lose to the Saints this week. I think that we would play first next, and obviously we win. We would play first, or we would play at 4 o'clock, and they would probably flex that Buccaneers Panthers game late. They either put in the afternoon
there's no
window or
need to
8 o'clock.
put that. They're not putting the Panthers in no Brown time game.
They haven't put Bryce Young on prime time but once this year. He's number one pick, and
They,
it would be a t-shirt and hat game.
they,
And it's not too much that a lot of teams got to play for that week,
they ain't putting that.
as things are putting out now.
They ain't putting that at 8 o'clock.
I think they could put it at 4 though.
Four,
I think they could put it at 4.
Hell no.
I think they could put it at 4.
The Panthers at the Falcon Panther game, they barely had more than me and you there.
Yeah, that Falcons Panthers game was dead. It was dead, bro. It was damn near empty, bro.
Yeah, so like they
but I
getting
will
black.
say-
The
I
Panthers
will
games are
say-
getting blacked out. They ain't putting them in no 8 o'clock slot.
Yeah, nah, that's rough. The Seahawks though, they faced the Cardinals last week of the season. It's not too much it's going to be a lot of playoff implications. You don't want your games late in the day not to mean anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if they flex Seahawks Cardinals out late, flex the Rams game out late or something like that to where
I don't know why I just not realized the Chargers are 5-10.
Chargers are trash, bro. Chargers are trash.
I knew they was bad, but 5-10 is insane.
Man, Chargers are crazy. Yo,
Now that
they kept saying
the
that during
Rams
the.
Niner game, that's gonna be a late game.
There's no reason to be honest.
I mean, the Rams can still be fine for a playoff spot. It depending on how tight they get.
Technically, yeah, but also if the Seahawks lose this week and the Rams win, the Rams are locked in.
Yeah, but the Rams are playing a scrappy Giants team.
Look, that 70-yard touchdown made that game look way closer than it was.
Hey, the Giants are a scrappy team. And speaking of the Giants, there is something I want to bring when we get to City Talk. But
all right, so the a lot of these have been decided. So you've got division winners in the 49ers and Lions. Lions can still get the 2 seed right now. Technically, because they haven't faced any of these other teams head to head, they could get the 1 seed still. But all their losses have been division losses, if I'm not mistaken. They've got 1 loss out of division, which was the Ravens. They got 1 loss out of division, which was the Ravens. If I'm not mistaken, all their losses have been in division. They lost to the Packers. They lost to it's preseason.
yeah, they're 3-2 in the division, and 7-3 in the conference. So,
Yeah. So they got 3 losses in the conference. So I think it'd be real hard for them to get to that 1 spot. But they could mess around and get the 2 spot, right? So they still got a little to play for over these last couple weeks.
yeah, because the Niners ain't lost no conference games unless the Niners lose one of their next 2. Which I mean,
Quite possible. Quite possible.
They play the Rams week 18, so
right, quite possible. I think it's a huge feat for the 49ers not to lose like any conference games. You know what I'm saying? Like they
but they're not
basically just look. Yeah, basically just lost to the AFC. Um, that's really that's really good because it puts you in the driver's seat, right? So even if they end 12-5, they'll probably go ahead and get the 1 seed. Um, excuse me, the Bucks. If they win this week, they don't have anything to play for next
Yeah,
week, so
that's all
that's
right.
kind of like a bye. That'll be a bye for them while everybody else is fighting for their life. So I think that makes them a little dangerous for whoever ends up being five between the Cowboys and Eagles. Um, you got some good games headed down the stretch because we haven't even talked about when in terms of flexing what the AFC is going to look like. So as of right now, the main thing, all we can do, we're fans of fans. We're hoping on other teams. You know what I'm saying? But we got to make sure we go in and handle our business first and foremost, right? Which is winning these next two games if we want to get into the playoffs.
Mm.
Now, on the flip side, if we want to go ahead and just fall out and do draft position, the top we could get as of now would be the number 7 overall pick. Would be the highest we could go if everybody else wins out and we lose out.
Yeah.
Um, And like you said last week, so the most reasonable thing that's probably going to happen is we end up with the eighth pick, right, for the third year in a row. Uh,
Which there would have to be some kind of record.
I, I mean, tons of teams consistently picking the top 10, but usually it's a sign of a bad organization, bad management, bad coaching. And I don't feel like we have bad management
Management,
or bad ownership from Blank or bad management from
Terry.
Fontenot,
Yeah.
but I feel like we had bad coaching at times. But not to beat a dead horse, if you didn't let him go after certain points of the season, you just his coaching didn't bother you, and you were willing to die on the sword that it was the player's fault. So let's go ahead and get in the city talk, and we're gonna wrap this up. So what you have to say, bro? What you have to say about my
So,
Giants?
so you know, we maybe I don't know what the exact plans are for next season, but we could be in the range for another stopgap quarterback, and I'm a fan of Tyrod Taylor. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think he does a good job of taking care of the ball. He won't throw you out of games. He probably won't win you, but he won't fuck it up.
It's
And
true.
I think that he could be a good fit with the weapons we have here. If we were to replace Heieneke with something like that, I
The
think
only
Tyrod. I think he would be a Tyrod. And the thing is, with Tyrod, for the most part, any quarterback that ends up behind him, Tyrod gonna get hurt, and whoever behind him will come in balling. It's
it
happened
never
damn near
fails.
every.
It never fails. He is the most unlucky man I've ever known, bro. It
Because he'll
never
be he'll be
fails.
playing good football, he'll get hurt by some random fluke stuff, and then the backup comes in balling.
And
Whether it
he
be
never gets his
Josh
job back.
Allen, Justin Herbert, hell, even Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he will never get that job back, bro. But something that you labeled with all three of those guys, first round quarterbacks. So
I
if
mean,
we're bringing in Tyrod, I think that's like a whole. Then it would make sense to go ahead and let Ritter go. Then it would make sense to, if you cut Heineke, you save $7 million. It
yeah.
would make sense to completely just turn the page. We're going to use Tyrod as a stopgap, and then we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. And to me, signing someone like him signifies you're going the Jaden Daniels route.
I mean, yeah, they're very similar. Um,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like it's not something I personally would want because I don't necessarily believe in. And granted, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, sit here in front of Flex because I do give a lot of time to football. I haven't even pretended to start draft analysis yet.
I
You
ain't
understand
started
me?
no draft analysis, but I've definitely been in the mock drafts.
Yeah, all I've done is just watch the college games. You know what I'm saying? To watch the college games I can watch. I haven't done any film sessions or
Which
any of that.
this
Like
is a
top 50
very
guys,
important
nothing.
week for college games.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't I'm not gonna sit here and be like stamp on it, Jaden Daniels is gonna be a bust. You know what I'm saying? Like now there are certain quarterbacks that like very early on, I say yay or nay on. I call Zach Wilson a mile away. And if you've been a long time listener, you know that I called Zach Wilson a mile away, bro. I called the Tua better than Herbert thing
I ain't
years
gonna
ago.
lie. I fell for the damn pro day was that, and then going back and
Smoking.
watching the highlights. Oh, Zach is just he's Johnny Manziel. That's all he is. But that's see
That's slick disrespectful to how amazing Johnny was, bro.
Zach was amazing in college too.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. They did the
No,
same
he
shit.
wasn't.
They did the same shit.
No,
They did.
he had one good year, bro.
Okay, he had
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Look that up. He
had
had
one
one good
good
year,
year.
and it
Fine,
was the
whatever.
COVID year, bro. It was the
Fine,
COVID year.
sure, fine and
BYU
dandy.
usually plays a super hard schedule, and they
When
played nobody that
that's
year.
fine. But back to what I was saying is when you cut on the film, they look damn near identical. It's just he was playing against lesser competition. But they
So,
weren't.
so
They
they
weren't.
not identical.
They weren't. They were identical in the fact that they didn't read no defenses. They ran around until they seen someone up and let the bitch rip. That's what he did.
I mean, yeah. Johnny won the Heisman, bro. Johnny was doing this against Alabama.
Mike Evans won a Heisman. Johnny Manziel just got the credit for it.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, yeah, nah, bro.
Johnny Manziel's whole stick was run around. Fuck it, Evans down there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, but he made it work. And
Evans made it work. He sure did.
I ain't gonna cap. I call Zach Wilson a mile away because I was like, y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping, bro. Because BYU quarterbacks, think about BYU quarterbacks, bro. Usually come in the league older. One, two. Usually they come in the league older. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Usually they come in the league older. Young, played a cupcake schedule. Like when I think BYU, I think Ty Detmer, not Ty Detmer. Steve Young. What's his other name? That
Ty Detmer was too.
Ty Detmer was. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking super accurate guys, super athletic guy. Jim McMahon. You know what I'm saying? Can run around, but like Steve Young is a Hall of Famer, but he was a Hall of Famer getting under Bill Walsh. You know what I'm saying? When Steve Young came out, very much known as a bust. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
He was a second round pick, so because you got Steve Young, Todd Detmer, those are the two top ones. Then you got Jimmy Man, Max Hall, Steve Sarkisian.
That should tell you everything you need to know about that. It's a quarterback factory. That should tell you everything you need to know about that. But regardless,
I did not know he went to BYU.
To just straight up be honest about it, like certain guys you can kind of see them out of the way, but most guys it takes some time looking at.
Oh, and Taysom Hill.
He's never been a quarterback.
At BYU he was.
I'm saying at BYU he was, but like he's never been a quarterback.
He's beaten us as a starting quarterback a couple times.
Right, he's cosplayed as a quarterback.
That's he beat us. It was enough to beat us. He did a damn good.
That's not saying a lot. But the point is, they're like usually it takes it takes some looking before you say definitively what your take is on a guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Coming out. And even still, there are people who get paid to do this for a living, and I promise you I don't. So like I'm not gonna sit and look over all 475 draft eligible players. I probably won't have no takes for you on day 7. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you
maybe
or day 3. I mean, yeah, day 3. I mean, but like I might be able to. I can look at the guy after he's been drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like and say what I do or don't like about him. But yeah, I'm not gonna Mike Mayock it have a whole profile of every single person. Like it's not happening.
No, I have my. Really, I probably have maybe 100 guys that I probably like out of each draft. That I probably
like. You better than me, bro. I'm usually top 50 with it.
I mean,
I'm usually top 50. I have a lot to say about them top 50.
No, if I'm okay, I got a strong. The top 50, I got strong to say. Then I got the other 50. I'm like, okay, man, I like stuff I've seen. You know, I don't really know, but I mean, from what I've seen, I like them though. I'm probably knowledgeable about 100, but I'm probably like locked in on probably like 45 to 50.
Yeah, like I could tell you, I could most likely tell you everything about unless there's like surprise or shockers. You know what I'm saying? Like
And
Cole Strange. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
the Patriots and Seahawks are good for shockers.
yeah, like if Cole Strange goes in the first, I got nothing on him. But for the most part, I usually got to take on the first and second round pick guys. Like that's just facts. Third round, I'm usually telling you what I think about the guy after they drafted him, um, and after we look at him, and then like sixth and seventh round, I'm
Well,
just.
Clark Phillips is actually one I knew about.
But he had a much higher profile.
Yeah,
He had a much higher
because he
profile.
was actually projected as a second round pick, and if he was taller, he probably would have won first round.
Yeah, and you get those, like Amon St. Rod, like or Amon Ross St.
St.
Brown,
Brown,
bro.
yeah, I'm all
Like he had a second round grade on him. I had all the information on him. Lions didn't pick him to the fourth round.
that
You
40
know what I'm saying?
time.
Like, but he plays much
He
faster,
does,
and
but
you know that. Like,
sometimes see the 40 time. Some teams see the 40 time and be like, ugh.
but sometimes that just goes back to like you got to watch it on film. You don't get caught from behind. I know that much.
I disagree with that, but
College didn't. There's a
Kyle maybe not. NFL, he
lot of
definitely
times he running. A lot of times he's running away from people.
did.
So like I
He
get
has
what you.
elite quickness. He don't really have the elite speed. He has elite quickness though. Like that's why he's so
Yeah.
dangerous in that slot. Because if he get that step on, you're not catching up because he's too quick. Now in the long run, you
Gone.
might catch him, but off that initial
Gone, bro.
burst, you're not fucking with him off the burst.
Gone, bro. So that's you know. But back to your initial point, if we do get somebody like him, then I think that's the route we're going. We're going Jaden Daniels type thing where we're going to get a similar type quarterback, similar type body style, and kind of roll with that. Um, and I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it, but then I think at that point you're kind of conceding the fact Ritter's off the team, Heineke's off the team. Um, we're definitely going to do a deep dive on the cap situation for the team
Oh, our cap
as our
situation
offseason
is
content.
pretty good.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like as our offseason content, we're
Thank you,
definitely going to
Terry.
get into.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate you, Stefano, because you have worked miracles with this cap.
Hey, look, he took his lumps. He took his lumps. You know what I'm saying? You go through a bad season and you clean up the books, which is why another reason I think if anybody gets the axe, is gonna be Arthur. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
because
saying?
Terry's
Because
done a
like
great job.
yeah, he has. You can't take it away from him. Last thing I wanted to get into was quick basketball note. All Star voting has opened up. Get Trey in there. Trey has had multiple stretches of 30 and 10 games. He is balling out of control right now. So log on to NBA. Get Trey in there.
No,
But go ahead, go ahead.
speaking of, well, finish your thought. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
But I actually wanted to route that back to football in terms of today's Christmas, right? We're recording this on Christmas evening time and whatnot. And bro, I didn't watch a second of basketball today. I did not watch 1 second of basketball today, even though the Warriors and Nuggets were playing. And that was the one I was like, I might watch that one. The Chiefs and Raiders game got out of hand quickly, especially with them 2 turnovers, right? But you always kind of had the feeling that Pat was going to come back. So I stayed on that game for a bit.
Mm.
I was fat and we were eating around 3:30. Took a little nap in the afternoon, so it's like I wasn't really. I was in and out of the Eagles game, and then I was completely glued to the Ravens and 49ers game, right? Even though it got out of hand and turned into a blowout, right?
Dude.
Bro, Christmas used to be owned by the NBA, bro, and I'm a basketball fan. I didn't watch a second of NBA today, and I don't even think if the Hawks were playing that would have changed. And I
See,
think that is a telling sign.
well, I watched the Lakers. I'm a Brian fan.
They got busted.
It was actually a good game up until the end, but yeah, yeah, I did watch that, but I mean, even then, I wasn't sitting there watching it minute to minute. I wasn't really watching too much football today. I won't watch too much of anything, to be honest with you. Nah, I'm gonna check in on here and there because I got a couple bets here and there that I got to check on. But yeah, I was on the game for the most part today. I was getting my get back on all the teams that beat the Falcons.
Oh, hey, look, I'm sitting over here and I'm trying to start up my franchise and whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and get that rocked out. I always sim it forward like 5 years so I can have my own league. I make my team really crappy and then I build them up from the bottom. So it, to be honest with me, it helps me prioritize what I consider premium positions. It helps me look at football, and if my way of looking at football is correct, right?
Yeah,
Usually, I prioritize left tackles, inside guards. I get if I'm if I'm doing my line, I go left tackle, both guards, then I go right tackle, then I go center, right? Overall,
the way I approach it is I like to get my needs in free agency, and then when they get to the draft, I just kind of just take whatever is the best possible thing. Obviously, you have the player that you like, but I try to take. All right, I know this dude's gonna be that guy. If I know he's gonna, I'm gonna try to move heavy enough to get him. It's a little unrealistic sometimes because
oh no, for me, bro, I don't. I actually add like an extra layer of like hard to my. I don't pick anybody in free agency ever.
oh no, like I may not go crazy in free agency, but I'm going take a couple 1 year deal here. Okay,
Mm.
you might be a little rental. We got a great player right here. Let me see what the books look like.
Only draft and practice squad. I make it hard on myself. I make it hard on myself, bro.
I ain't making it that hard on myself. But
I make it hard on myself.
back to the Hawks. So I've been seeing a lot of things since we're on the topic of video games. I've been seeing a lot of things on 2K, right? To where did like Tyrese Halliburton. How do you feel about him?
I feel like he's a really good talent. I feel like they are elevating him very, very quickly in terms of what he's actually accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a lot of people, like he's already better than Trey. I think like they
Yeah,
did the same thing. They did the same thing with Lamelo though, and we've seen how Lamelo is Lamelo now. You
because
know what
it's
I'm saying?
like
Like,
it's crazy, right? Because like for the better, like for pretty much his whole career, Trey's whole career, he's been averaging 20 and 10, like 25 plus and 10.
mm-hmm.
So I was looking at the 2K ratings. Trey's at 89. Halliburton's a 94.
It sounds about right.
That sounds insane to me.
No, I'm just saying in terms of like video game, in terms of
Yeah,
how they're hyping him up right
yeah.
now,
Because
and like he had a run. He had a run. But this is the one, this is the first year the Pacers are even good. Right? Secondly, the Pacers didn't have any expectations this season. Right? So he's never played with expectations. It's the first year that they're good. He does not one thing I will give him, shoots very high from three, does not turn the ball over. Like at all. He had multiple 15 assist game with zero turnovers. And that's like Chris Paul shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta give you that. You know what I'm saying? Good off the bounce. He's not the same defensive inefficiencies that you would have with Trey. You have with him.
yeah,
He plays the passing lanes pretty well because he's a little bit longer.
yeah.
But you
Because
can
he's 6'5",
you
Trey's
can
6'2".
bully. Yeah, you could bully him on the pick and roll. You could bully him in the post. You can hunt him
Yeah,
as a
for
matchup
for
because he's
someone
not gonna.
for a bigger guard, you would expect better defensively.
Yeah, no, that's not him.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I've always been the person that like the package, not Trey as a player. Listen to what I'm
no,
saying.
no, because he's
The
small.
package,
Like,
the package that we got Trey for Luca. I've always thought we won that trade.
oh yeah, we
I
definitely did.
still think we won. I still think we won that trade.
I do wish Cam would have worked out, but I still like Cam as a player. It just don't work
Yeah,
out here.
and we were able to flip Cam. We've been able to flip Cam. You know what I'm saying? That trade is still bearing fruits.
Yeah,
So like, at some point in time, what they've both been to the conference finals.
yeah.
Luca has one more playoff appearance, one more series win. Is this what all the chatter is about? Yeah, Luca puts up 35 and 11, 35 and 12, but like He missed the playoffs last year too. And I think people get lost in that sometimes. People get lost in that a lot of
They
times,
do.
bro. They get lost in like what's actually happening. What is actually going on? What are you actually seeing, bro? Because like dudes miss the playoffs. Dudes get bounced in the first round. Like Paul George, bro. Paul George is like God status. Like he ain't been out the first round in like years, bro.
Yeah.
Kyrie, prior to prior to Kevin Durant, like big toe on the line, that was Kyrie's first series win. Like, bro, that postseason run, I'm finna hurt your mind, bro. That postseason run was Kyrie's first postseason series win since the 3-1 victory versus the 3-1 victory, not the 3-1 victory, but the finals versus Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, though.
Because the next year, when the Boston lost. The year after that, he wasn't on. No, he didn't go to Boston lose. That next year, he was hurt that whole playoff run.
Yeah.
The following year, Giannis beat him. The year after that, you went to the Nets, didn't make the playoffs. The year after that is when you finally had a playoff win, bro. He hadn't had a significant playoff moment since he hit the shot over Steph, bro. But people put you in God status mode, bro, and it's like y'all gotta actually talk about what's actually happening with these players. So it doesn't surprise me that people are already like, oh, Halliburton is up there with Shea Gilgis Alexander. Now I will not lie to you. I had some incredible Shea Gilgis slander I was spitting last year. It was straight. It was slander, bro. And he shut me the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like
because he came on the wall.
that man could ball and he's kept it up. And I gotta give him his flowers on that. But you know, Halliburton, I'm not gonna slander him. I think his ascension is rather quick without real substance behind
Yeah,
it.
I'll give you that.
And I think a lot of people hadn't seen him play before and are surprised by his and the Pacers are playing at like an incredibly high pace, so his numbers are inflated.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I hate being that person.
almost Dan Tony like system.
Yeah. And I hate being that person who's like, oh, but when the playoffs come, because I feel like that is part of why I didn't watch any basketball today, right? Is that the product what is being discussed about the product invalidates the regular season so freaking much that people don't take stock in the actual games anymore.
That's why
And
they had to add the in season tournament. Just to,
yeah,
it was
and
like,
honestly, I think that's fruits of the whole Jordan LeBron debate. You know what I'm saying? We can get into that when we start doing the basketball pods, but I feel like people invalidate regular season success and records and stuff like that because
that
as soon
goes
as
NFL
LeBron's
and
yeah,
NBA.
yeah, you start invalidating and just like, oh, did they win a chip? Oh, did they get a chip? And it's like, bro, like there's so much more that goes into it. And like the game is a cup. Yes, you play to win a championship. Absolutely. No one's invalidating that part at all. But there are many other not everybody wins a championship, bro.
No,
There's many other milestones that are on the way. And like if I had to take a over under on Halliburton or Trey Young winning a championship, I'd probably go the under on both of them. Probably zero on both of them. And so when it comes down to it, what are we looking at? All star appearances, all NBA nods, stuff like that. And I feel like overall, what Trey has and what he's done, he's doing more with than what Halliburton has done.
yeah, yeah.
I say all that, but the Hawks right now are still 5 games under 500. So
It's frustrating because like I see the talent, but I like one of my favorite Hawks right now is Jalen Johnson, and he's been out with that wrist injury.
for a minute,
Yeah,
and they miss him, and
they
and
miss him.
he's taking Oneku's spot. He's taking Oneku's spot. What I actually think is going to happen is DeAndre is going to get moved.
Oh yeah, no, I
Um,
fully believe they're going to trade him. I know they're still in talks with Toronto for Siakam.
yeah.
I don't know if that's really
I
going to be.
honestly, I honestly don't think it'll be Siakam, bro. I think they'll trade him for spare parts, move slide Johnson to the 3, and let Oneku start at the 4.
I don't like Heieneke at the four though. I like Heieneke as a small five. I don't
I
like.
like him as a small 5, but I just
Because
I
the
don't
thing,
have any inside information. I think how Quinn is wanting to play, Dre is good defensively,
yeah,
but
he's
doesn't exactly fit into the play style scheme that they want as well as Jalen does.
yeah, no, I get that because Jalen, he's like a 5 tool player. He
Mm-hmm.
can give you defense. He can give you the occasional jumper. He can give you playmaking. He can give you slashing. Like he can give you a little bit of everything, and that's why I like him so much. He reminds me
Yeah.
kind of maybe like a poor man's Ben Simmons.
With Trey and DJ on the floor, he was bringing the ball up,
Yeah, because he
and
gives you he's a point forward.
yeah, he gives you a lot. The one person I am very like disappointed in, uh, I don't know Quinn's reasoning behind it, but Matthews getting burned. Um, and then what really stuck out to me was Patty Mills got into the game. What are we doing with AJ? What are we doing with AJ
Yeah.
Griffin, bro?
Because
Like
he had a good year last year. Didn't he do?
he had a good year up until Quinn came, right? So like I don't know if it's just a man to man you need to apologize type thing, or you just truly he shut you out as like you're not a player I want. And I don't know because like the talent is there. We
He's
saw it
definitely there.
last
Yeah.
year. Yeah, we saw it last year, and you're not being able to capitalize on it. We've gotten long winded. All right, so uh, appreciate y'all guys. Stick around with us. We got much more content coming out. We are definitely going to get back on the betting pod as the football season winds out. We will find more things to be degenerate on. Um, moving into next season, obviously we got the draft coming up. We got some new
Mm-hmm.
stuff we're going to be putting out on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
If you
So
look wherever you're listening to this, I also remind me to cut this to put this at the beginning. Follow us on YouTube. We are on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you listen to podcasts. The links are below in the description. Um, Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast, hit that little notification button. So anytime we drop anything, you guys are the first to hear us and the first to know. Appreciate y'all. This has been your boy Q City.
your boy Taj Bravado.
We out.
Peace.